Hey, y'all, Bloodwing here, back to bring some grumpiness to the internet. Welcome back to Redneck Radio, the live stream where you get an extra side helping of Mac Davis. And I'll explain that a little bit for those of you not in the know. With me, as always, is Irate Bear. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, everybody. I hope you're well. It is on Thursday, the 23rd of May, and I'm all right, mate. How are you? How have you been? What have you been up to?
Not too bad. I was a little. I really hate to drive in the rain because I don't see well anyway, and you put me in a little rain and I can't see at all. I get nervous. And it was storming this morning, as I was telling you earlier. I
Of
mean,
course.
it was coming down in buckets. When I went to go get the granddaughters for school, it was coming down in buckets. There was lightning everywhere. I mean, it was the roads were flooded and it was just terrible. And the minute I get home, it quits. You could have done this an hour ago.
Of course.
But yeah, other than that, no, I'm good.
Okay, good. I exercised my civic duty this morning
Yeah, I seen that.
to go and vote in the European MEP elections, which I democracied really hard. You know, went in there. I was like, "Give me a goddamn ballot paper." And I voted. I voted for Tommy Robinson, which I'm sure is probably going to annoy a few people. But it's my vote, my choice, my body, my choice. Yeah, come
That's
on.
right. It's his vote, dude. Good people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So don't judge, as it were. I did that. Obviously, came home, did a live stream. Actually, no, I did the weekly shop this morning. Actually, may got a little bit cray, but yeah, Stephen Yaxley Lennon.
Yeah.
Former leader of the EDL, as it were. Yeah, I enjoy exercising my civic duty, as you
Yeah.
know, and I have to wait until Sunday now. Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. Who is there at the chat? We have Sean DW 175. Always good to see you, mate.
Yep.
Go directly from an R8 Bear video to a Bloodwing and R8 Bear video. What were you watching, mate? What video was you watching? Of course, Michael Weiner. He's a good boy.
Yeah.
He's a good boy.
Now you got Duck Dog seems to be upset people telling him what to do on his job.
Well, I mean that's typically like how it works at jobs.
Yeah. Depends on who would tell me what to do.
I get where he's coming from, though.
Yeah.
Breakfast with Bear from this morning. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Michael Warner seems to be amused by that. Michael Warner's a good boy. He's a good boy. I'm a little bit peeved. I another one of my videos not being monetized today. There's a video that I uploaded. I'm surprised it got reviewed so bloody quickly, actually. I guess it not being reviewed within like a day is obviously a good sign now, apparently. But yeah, guys, I created a video that I uploaded yesterday. I actually had to upload it twice due to some issues with the original upload, and it's been denied monetization, which of course means it won't be in the algorithm when it goes out. So I'm going to premiere it at 15 minutes after this stream ends. So guys, come along, check it out. I hope you enjoy it.
Yep. Do it.
Oh dear. So what's going on, Bob? What's happening? Any cancer on Twitter today?
Not on Twitter, really. I mean, same old stuff. People picking at boomers and stuff like that. Which I'm a legit boomer, and I refuse to apologize for it. I'm proud of the fact. So hate all you want. Don't care.
He's a boomer. He's proud, but he can't remember when he was born. I'm sure.
I don't remember it. No, but I know what day it was.
Do you now?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
March 22nd of 1960.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You goddamn hippie.
Eisenhower was president. Just to give you some reference on how long ago that was.
He's been here forever, folks. Who do we have there in the chat? What are your thoughts about May refusing to resign? Doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I don't know whether you've seen it at all, Bloodwing. You may have seen me talking about it on Twitter or other people. I don't know. But there was talk of Theresa May resigning, and then within, like, I don't know, a couple of hours, her deputy, the leader of the House, Andrea Leadsom, was like, "Nah, I'm leaving." And it's not a good sign, really. It's really not a good sign, especially when your number two and your opposite number decide to just decide not to play ball anymore and leave.
Yeah, I don't know what to do for y'all over there, man.
Oh, neither do I at this point.
I mean, this has gone on forever. Good God, just get it over.
Yeah, I mean, I get that it's a complex issue,
Yeah,
as it were. But come on, like, how incompetent can you be as a leader that you can't provide a deal that at least one part of the House can agree on? I mean, every time she's created a goddamn new deal, like, nobody likes it. You know, it's like that Fallout 4 meme. Nobody likes that.
yeah. I mean, there just comes a time where you just got to pull the cord. Just do it.
Yeah.
Or don't. One or the other, you know.
Yeah, it would not surprise me if it ended up with a completely second referendum. And guys, do us a favor. It's Redneck Radio. It's your boy Bloodwing. Share the stream out to your favorite social media platforms on Twitter. Get it done so people can come and enjoy and bask in the redneck goodness that is Bloodwing.
Absolutely. And if you want to go a step further and help an old man out, there is a super chat, and there's also links to my Streamlabs and Patreon in the description.
Part with your money and leave a like, people. It's got to keep the lights on somehow.
Yeah. Foxy saying Trump is placing flags at Arlington, so the left are going to flip. I wouldn't doubt it, because you know it's not popular to support our troops.
Is it not?
Yeah, it's not. And of course, you know, we have here in America, we have Memorial Day coming up this Monday, which of course is, you know, to remember and celebrate those brave men and women that have given their life to the service of their country. And so, yeah, he should be out there placing flags. But
who's like triggered over like troops? Like, why is it not popular at the moment?
Misguided far lefties, you know.
Oh, well, of course, yeah.
You know, that blame the troops for whatever wars we've been in,
even though like it's not their decision.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as bad now as in the 70s, you know, the 60s and 70s when I was a kid, because I mean, literally they would spit on the troops coming home from Vietnam.
Yeah,
but it gets pretty bad sometimes. But hey, you know, they're just idiots.
Yeah, they are. They are. It's funny as well, man, because those same people, those same exact people are the ones that go, "Oh, we're soldiers in the fight against fascism and white supremacy."
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, we'll see how hard you fight when you do come up against a couple of individuals who identify themselves as neo-Nazis or white supremacists. We'll see how hard you are then.
Yeah. Yeah.
With your Starbucks latte.
No, Toasted, I'm not. I did try to enlist once upon a time, but they wouldn't take me. That's a long story.
They tested Bloodwing's blood, and it tested 99% RC Cola.
No,
like,
basically what it comes to, you know, I've been a lot of things in my life, and not all of them good. But one thing I've always tried not to be is a liar. So if you ask me something, I'll tell you the truth, even if it's not what you want to hear. And when I went to enlist. I'll just tell the story real quick. When I went to enlist, you know, there's a 4-hour test. I forget the name of it, but it's a written test that you have to take. You go and sit in a classroom and you take the test before, you know, that starts you off. And it looked really good because at that point I matched the highest score that any of the instructors there had ever seen on that test. And I had the Marine recruiters and Army recruiters were all sidling over to my desk, you know, whispering at me, "Hey, you know, if you want to sign up with us, you know, we could," because I scored so high.
Yeah.
But I had my heart set on the Air Force because I love airplanes.
Mm.
But as part of the sign up procedure, you know, they asked you other questions and so forth. And they asked if I'd ever smoked marijuana. And I told them the truth. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And since they couldn't keep you out for that, they can only keep you out of certain areas of the military because of drug use. They can't keep you out of it because they tried every way they can. Otherwise, you know, they sent me to psychiatrists. Da, 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 da. Ultimately, what they ended up keeping me out for was they said the arches on my feet were too high, not flat feet, too high.
Yeah, I've heard of people being refused entry for flat feet.
Yeah.
In our military. Anyway.
Yeah, and I even went to, you know, when I was in high school, I was in marching band for years, and I even went to my marching band instructors and got signed affidavits saying I'd never missed any, you know, anything because of my feet or anything. It didn't do any good, and I know that was it because the doctor that seen me during my examination, it was his. I found out later it was his last day, so he was going to make a mark. And he literally told me, "I'm sick of all you potheads trying to join trying to join the military." So yeah, he done everything he could to keep me out, and he was eventually successful. But I did try. I tried to join. My daughter, however, is a United States Marine. So yeah,
That's right. And if she's here, I hope you had a lovely birthday yesterday.
I haven't seen her yet. Yeah, haven't seen her yet. She may be working,
Okay.
but I think she did. I talked to her for a few minutes yesterday, and yeah, I think she did. Yes, I would fly a helicopter if I could. I remember when I was in junior high school. The local National Guard actually landed a Huey in our schoolyard and let us all go out and sit in it and go look through it. It's one of my fondest memories. I used to have pictures of that. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh, okay. I when I was in Army Cadets, I used to get a little lift in a Gazelle helicopter. I loved it.
Yeah. Audacious is too high for Vietnam. Actually, I miss Nam by a little bit. It officially, they got the last American out in 1975, and I was 15 in 75. So close enough to sweat it, close enough to get to the point where, well, in 3 years, I'm going to Nam like everybody else that I've seen, you know, up to now. But no, I missed Vietnam by just a couple of years.
Okay. Nearly.
Yeah. If Vietnam had still been going on when I tried to enlist, I guarantee they would have took me. You know, they wouldn't have been as picky. But.
Oh, okay. And what they do here is like they ask you if you ever take drugs before. Like it doesn't matter really what you've taken in the past. You just need to be able to pass a drug test on the way in.
Yeah, and I'm sure I would have been able to have passed a drug test. Wasn't that I wasn't still doing drugs, but I, you know, if I knew it was coming, I'm going to not smoke. I'm at least that smart.
Yeah.
But I knew if y'all didn't know, my dad was well, technically still is the pastor of our church. And I knew from experience, because they asked for references, and often he would be put on people's references when they try to sign up, being the pastor, and they do check. They do check your references, or at least they did back in those days. And I couldn't see any sense of lying about it when they were going to find out anyway.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't know. What else has been going on today? Of course, the milkshake wars are still undergoing.
Oh yeah, it'll slow down sooner or later. You know, it'll.
A lot more British police were deployed today because fears of violence. In fact, I should probably have a look. There's bound to be something. It's bound to be something. Oh dear. Carry on, mate. I'm gonna have a wee gander at the BBC.
Foxy says she's flown a Black Hawk, Chinook C-17, and C-1A40. I'm jelly. I absolutely. I've ever since I was a little kid, I've been fascinated with flight. I had tons of model airplanes. I just love anything to do with it. So yeah, I would love to go up in a military helicopter. Thank you, Cryptic, for the donation. Oh man, you bring all the quarter blacks to the yard. He's on it already.
Exactly. I'm always here. You shut your whore mouth. Oh, there's got to be something in the news about Tommy, or maybe violence kicking off today.
Well, I did see a picture. I don't know how old it was, but I seen a picture of an older veteran that had got milkshaked because he supported Brexit.
Allegedly, apparently, he was a 22-year Army veteran. By the way, 22 years is like the like contract that you sign when you join up the military. Obviously, you can leave before then, but like 22 years is like, you know, that's serving your full sentence, as I would probably call it. But yeah, 22 years, Army veteran, had a milkshake lobbed on him from a filthy leftist who didn't like the way that he was trying to vote.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he obviously had the little Brexit Party pinny. Obviously, I don't agree with the guy. I wouldn't have voted for the Brexit Party, but I wouldn't hit him or throw anything over him.
Yeah.
So
he has the same right to his opinion as you do. So yeah,
one could argue he has more of a right.
But yeah, it'll end shortly. People will forget about it. You know.
Yeah.
Or at least one can only hope, because I'm about over it. I'm just about over it, you know.
Yeah, I know, mate.
You know, I've gotten some arguments over it, and people just aren't going to listen. You know, they want to hang on to their childishness and their lack of personal responsibility, and I'm not going to change their minds. So, yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna read this to you, mate, because it's ridiculous. Right, just give us a sec. It's not as recent as I was hoping. I was hoping there'd be like some articles on what may have happened today within like the last hour or two, but no. So I'm gonna read this one to you instead.
Okay.
From yesterday. Stop election of evil. Yeah, the news, man. These tabloids, honestly. Stop election of evil. Dun, dun, dun. Tommy Robinson, who used Manchester bombing to spew hate. Well, I mean, did he point out the fact that, you know, it's an issue? The fact that I drove past one of those little girls' funerals made it very fucking real for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to do that again. I don't want to see little girls in, you know, small coffins being driven to, you know, the boneyard because
Right.
they were blown up.
Exactly.
Oh God! Exclusive. Tommy Robinson, real name Stephen Yaxley Lennon, is standing in this week's EU Parliament elections in the Northwest. Yes, and I voted for him specifically because of your constant hit pieces on the guy.
Just to tick you off.
Just to annoy you. I would have voted UKIP otherwise. Community leaders and the Labour MP, of course, have called on voters to reject far-right extremist Tommy Robinson in the EU Parliament elections. It comes after it emerged that thug Robinson, 36, whose real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, used the Manchester Arena bombing to try and spread his rabid Islamophobic views. You want to grab that super chat, mate?
Yep. Thank you, Cryptic. Old man should drink Coke and use his cane. No, thanks. Not a Coke guy. Prefer RC. And I'm kind of proud of the fact that lately I've been able to leave the cane at home thanks to my surgery. So
yeah. Amen. He is attempting, not campaigning or anything, to be elected as a Northwest MEP. The Mirror has uncovered tweets. What do you mean you've uncovered tweets?
like it's some kind of lost treasure. Uncovered it. We went on a fact-finding mission and uncovered this tweet.
Here at the Mirror, we carried out some serious investigative journalism. Oh my God. From Robinson sent in the days following the 2017 attack, which killed 22 people, most of which were little girls. One draws attention to what he believes are Muslims in charge of security at the concert. Manchester Central MP Labour's Lucy Powell said, "We must stop him getting a platform to spread his evil." These people are pathetic. Mohammed Shafiq of the Ramad Han Foundation said, "He is a deeply racist individual." Well, what's he said that's racist? I've asked people on Twitter to show me this before, but like, can you show me something where he said something racist?
It's just like they swear that Trump is hiding something. No proof, but they just feel like he is. So
yeah,
it must be true.
If you say something against Muslims, then I guess that's racist. Of course, it's the same kind of gay rhetoric they've been trying to spin for several years now. I'll be taking screenshots at this in a minute. A statement posted on Robinson's website said he didn't criticize Muslims, but Islam. Meanwhile, one of Labour's top donors, tycoon John Mills, says the party should re-industrialize the UK to see off the threat posed by Nigel Farage. Okay, I don't know what that's got to do with anything, but... and that's the end of the article. Election of evil! Oh, my God. Just taking a few screenshots now.
Yeah. Now, outside of the milkshake, I did see one thing that kind of annoyed me. Didn't make me mad because I've seen it so many times before, but it kind of annoyed me.
Yeah.
I don't understand people that just hate America out of hand, and it seems to be rampant. You know,
is it Americans? Is it Americans or other people?
People from outside of America.
Oh, okay.
Look, people, I get it. I want you all to be proud in your own countries. You know, Bear, I'd like for you to be able to be proud of the UK, and
yeah.
And all that. But that doesn't mean that America's bad. And it almost always comes from people that have never been here, never lived here, and all they know about us is what they see on social media, which I guarantee you is not a good optic of what America's really about.
What were they saying?
Just saying America sucks and stuff like that, And I'm just rolling my eyes like, oh, you have no idea what you're talking about. Sure, we have our problems. Absolutely, we have our issues. But, yeah, I don't get all the hate. I don't understand it.
Oh, well, did they specify anything really? Like,
No, it was just an offhand thread, and I think they were kind of half joking. But what stuck with me, this individual I have seen tweet before, how without joking, their opinion of America. And they were Canadian, by the way. Like, they've got room to point fingers. I love my Canadian listeners. I know there's some of you out here. Don't get me wrong. But...
well, like, I used to be one of those people, to be honest with you, mate.
Yeah.
Who'd give like just like fuck America, but not for like trivial reasons, really.
Yeah.
And obviously, I was very young at the time, so I didn't really get it. Didn't really understand a lot of things, obviously. But like I didn't like America for a lot of things. I didn't like the fact that like I didn't like Iraq. I didn't like the whole Afghanistan thing. I didn't like the blue on blue kind of situations that would happen with your troops and stuff. But I got over all that shit and grew up. Like it's you can't really criticize an entire country. So
Right.
it's a bit silly. It's a bit silly to do.
And like I said, this generally comes from people that have never been here, never lived here, and all they know about America is what they see on social media. And that stuff mostly comes from the coast, people. There's a whole huge area. Do you understand how big this country is? There's a huge area in between the coasts that's not representative of. But yeah, I just roll my eyes at them like, you don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, I used to be like that, mate. It's just like it's people that don't want to don't want to look into things. Like I used to feel that way about America.
Yeah.
And just kind of like look at your country as a bit, as this kind of weird gung ho, want to kill everything, just nation of idiots, but that wasn't the truth. That's not true, obviously.
No, it's not.
I grew up, realized, you can't really criticize or condemn an entire country just for a particular policy. You can't judge people on their government. At the end of the day, you can't judge them for conflicts that we ourselves were taking part in either. So I grew up. I do it's hashtag not all and all that jazz. So plus I actually bothered to actually learn a little bit about America. I was like, oh, America's cool, man.
Yeah.
No, I love America.
Are there issues with it? Absolutely. We're not perfect by any means, but yeah. It's a great place to live and grow up. It really is. Thank you, Cryptic, for the donation. Where's Canada again? I don't know, but I heard that if you turn north and drive, you'll eventually get there.
Don't do it though. Don't do it. Yeah, you'll regret it. I'm sure. You'll regret it.
But it does remind me of something. You all know I love to watch documentaries on Netflix or whatever I can watch them on. And in the last couple of days, I watched a documentary about World War I, and the way they were coming at it is, we've often seen the documentaries of World War II, and how it changed the world and how it affected the world and all that, but we don't often hear that about World War I. Because it kind of gets overshadowed by World War II.
Well, World War II was a different ball game altogether, though, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
World War II was stopping, a dictator,
right,
and a very evil regime of people that wanted to genocide many different groups of people. So whereas World War I was a battle of two dying empires.
Yeah, it was brought about mostly by old alliances, more or less, just to boil it down to its simplest terms. It's a lot more complicated than that, but of course it is. But anyway, I thought, okay, well, that's interesting. Let's hear what they have to say. And it was a British documentary, which I don't mind because I will admit you Brits do some good documentaries.
We do some good, but I also like American documentaries. Do you know why?
Why is that?
Because you make it sexy. You know what I mean? Like you sex everything up. It's like World War II coming this summer. I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Hold on a second. Maddie's asking for an invite, and I don't see any reason why not. So let me.
Oh, okay.
You all know that I can't do two things at once. Here, there we go. All right. Anyway, so I start watching it, and it's okay. But then we get to the second episode of the thing, and this guy obviously does not like America and America's style of democracy.
Okay.
What he was talking, the subject is that World War One brought about some significant changes, brought some new types of government to the forefront. And if you think about it, it's true, because immediately after World War One, or at the end of World War One, you had communism making a great rise, you had fascism starting up, and you had democracy popping up in different areas.
Which is fair to say.
Yeah. And
especially fascism. Holy crap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But at the end of World War One, President Wilson made a fairly famous speech, actually in England. He was in England when he made it, and said that he wanted to make the world safe for democracy.
What's wrong with that?
That's where the documentary took a decided left turn and left a bad taste in my mouth, because this guy obviously had a problem with America, and he went off on how he tried every way he could to make America look bad, because we have capitalism, unchecked capitalism, according to him.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah.
Hi, Maddie.
Hi.
And to make a long story short, he ended it up with, because of the way that the UK approached democracy after World War One, and he brought up, socialized medicine and all that stuff. And after pointing out how big a fiasco the Iraq and Iran wars were for America, or not Iraq and Iran, Iraq and Afghanistan, the UK made democracy safe for the world.
Yeah,
and that's his exact words.
Jeez,
that's what he ended the episode on. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I get it that American style democracy is probably not the right thing for everybody, maybe not it for everybody. But there's got to be something to it, because it's existed for quite a while.
What I love is, you start arguing with some of these people on Twitter, and they're talking about socialism, and then they include as examples, Denmark and Norway and Sweden, and whenever they do that, I love to tag White Sith and Skeptic Llama and Sage, because the first thing they chime in with is, we're not socialist countries.
In what way did we secure democracy or make it safe?
Mainly to try to sum it up in a nutshell, because you included some socialism in there. You went the middle ground instead of going way left or way right, and you maintained your monarchy. Yeah, I'm not joking. I forget the name of it, or I'd tell you what it was, and you can watch it for yourself.
Yeah.
So he's trying to say that because we developed the NHS in the 1950s, that made our democracy better?
Yeah.
What? It's got nothing to do with democracy. It's a bloody health service.
Yeah. And And don't get me wrong, I'd like to see cheaper healthcare in America. At my age and in my situation, health-wise, absolutely, I'd love to see cheaper healthcare. But yeah,
it just amazes me how they do that. And yes, our healthcare system has a lot of problems. I'm not going to say it doesn't. It does. I mean, from the big pharmaceuticals securing, I think it's 10 years for their patent before any of their new medicines can go generic to make them cheaper, to all the different prices for different procedures depending on the hospital and the physician and the area that you're in. It's fucking crazy trying to keep up with all of it.
yeah. I was like, "Are you kidding me, dude? I'm kidding." And I am not making this up. That is the exact line he ended that episode with, was that the UK made democracy safe for the world.
Does it make sense? Like in what sense though?
Dude, by that time I was already raging. I was already like, you're an idiot.
You remind me of my dad. He used to make me sit down and watch all the World War II documentaries because he considers himself a World War II historian. And whenever they started going off on a tangent on something that wasn't accurate, my dad would start raging at the television going, "That's not how that happened. It was this way. It happened this way." And I'm just sitting here with my head in my hands going,
my first clue to which direction he was going is he blamed democracy for the rise of fascism in Italy.
What?
Yeah.
But
because they were democratic, they were able to vote in Il Duce.
Wow. Okay.
What was he bloody suggesting then?
I don't know what they slipped in his drink for him to come up with that one, but
I'm not really sure, Bear. The only thing I came away with is he doesn't like America and our style of democracy.
But like, what? We've had democracy in the UK for quite some time. We've had representatives for quite some time.
Yeah.
And it's not that much different.
Well, it did go through a major change, according to him, after World War I, because it was at that point that they actually opened the vote up for every man and every woman over 30. Every man over 21, every woman over 30. And the aristocracy of Britain was really worried at the time because there was a huge push left at that time in British politics.
Yeah.
And they were worried that they were going to get took over, And of course, the first election after that, all that was opened up for voting, proved that their fears were unfounded, because obviously they did not become a communist state, but.
Well, I mean, like Winston Churchill was a massive anti-communist.
News alert, breaking news.
Oh, yeah.
Massive anti-communist. So he had that crazy plan, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
I forget what it's called. The crazy one where he wanted to like firebomb Russia or something. Sorry, Ben, you did have democracy long time. You guys need to restore it. What? That's some good English there, Sith.
Also, like RJ said, lefties want to bring Article 13 over here masked as hate speech laws, including Trudeau. The problem is, how do you define hate speech? Because now with the radical left, and I am saying radical left for a purpose, hashtag not all lefties, just the ones that have been drinking the Kool-Aid lately. Anything that offends them, they consider hate speech. So, any kind of quote unquote hate speech laws are going to be very ambiguous.
It's pretty much whatever the individual wants it to be.
Yeah, pretty
Democracy, my ass, Bear. You guys can't even say anything against any protected class with possible jail time. Well, you can still vote for people and you can vote out people, and that's what democracy is.
Yep.
I mean, look at me. I voted for Tommy Robinson today.
Yeah, but there is a big difference, people, fundamentally between that and what ours is a democratic republic, where in the UK they pretty much have a parliamentary democracy.
Yeah.
So there's a difference in the way that it all works. It all amounts to the same thing. There are freedoms, and certainly the UK has much more freedoms than say communist Russia did. You know,
Yeah.
or fascist Italy or anything like that. But
Yeah.
How do you institute hate speech laws or anything like that? You make it vague.
You have to.
You copy and paste YouTube's terms of service, add a few words, take away a few words, and boom, hey presto, you can arrest anybody for any reason.
But yeah, I was watching that. It's actually a 3-part documentary, and that was the second part. And I haven't decided if I'm going to watch the third part or not. You dumb. I mean, I found it.
What that guy was saying, I don't get it. What is he possibly basing that on?
The stuff that comes out of his ass.
Yeah,
That's my theory.
Pretty much is what it is.
What nobody has made democracy safe across the world.
Yeah. Yeah, he pointed out that you know, you can't just, like in Iraq and Afghanistan, you know, you're not going to automatically cause democracy just because you topple their dictatorship.
Yeah.
And that's true. You're not.
Yeah.
But
RJ, how long till the EU ends up like the Soviet Union? If you are referring to the old USSR, they're just about there. They're just about there because
USSR. But it was funny though, because a lot of people seem to think that the European Union is socialist when it is not.
No.
Not in any way, shape, or form is it socialist.
Well, I mean, with their laws and, you know, their strict ways of, and, you know, the more laws that they're passing to make things more restrictive for anybody in the EU on the internet as far as speech is concerned, they're already like most countries like China and Cuba and Russia and all those that restrict what comes out of their country. And they just want to make it worse.
But I think that his main issue was he in his worldview, he sees communism obviously as being the ultra left, you know, and American style democracy as being the ultra right. And in the UK, they done it right by finding the middle ground.
But at the time, our politicians' leanings were much more akin to how America is now.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a good statement. It's not a good overview because we all know that politics is much more complicated than that.
Yep.
America is not ultra right. Honest to goodness, the truth be known, there are more left leaning people because of the higher population centers like New York and LA than there are otherwise.
Yeah.
They're just all concentrated in pockets.
Mm.
To make such a statement about America is it's a misnomer. It's a blanket statement that's untrue. But that seemed to be the stance that he was taking. You know.
I might have to watch it myself, really, to kind of like try to see where he's coming from, because it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, if you put in documentary, you probably will find it fairly easy, because I don't think it's been on Netflix very long, because I hadn't seen it before, and I'm always cruising through the documentaries.
Yeah, as you know, I've been recently watching. Oh, it's in here. Okay, cheers, babe. Pass it, Donna. Thank you.
I wished I could remember the name of it. I could open up my Netflix and
Sure, I'll do it.
Probably tell you, but yeah, I would risk getting myself blue screened if I open up too much.
That's like what Irate Bear was talking about earlier in the stream about, you know, getting yellow dollar signed. Yeah, I'm completely confused at this point because every single abortion bill video that I have uploaded has been yellow dollar signed, except the channel update where I mentioned that I'm covering the abortion bills. That one is still monetized. I'm like, how? Because I don't really say anything derogatory in any of the other bills. I'm just reading the bills and I'm putting my commentary to it. That's it. And I don't understand. I was just getting to the point with this monetization that I'm like, oh, just fuck it. I don't care.
I gave up trying to figure that all out a long time ago when my NFL streams were automatically getting hit. So
It's not World War II in color, is it?
No. It's specifically about World War One. Well, hold on a
Ken
second.
Burns filmed The War.
No.
No, what is that? That doesn't even look like World War One, does it?
Hold,
it's World War II.
hang on a second. I am going to attempt to look in my Netflix. So if I disappear for a second, you know why. I tried to open too much.
Man, there's a lot of good documentaries. I mean, I'm in the middle of watching one about Hitler's inner circle.
Oh, it's called Long Shadow.
Long Shadow. That sounds sexy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let's have a gander. Where is it? Oh, I'll have to search for it. Long Shadow this summer.
Yeah, it's just everything is okay. What they wanted to know was before the EU collapsed. That's gonna take a while. To me, at least 5 years, because they keep pushing it. There's gonna be more and more countries in the EU that are gonna go by way of Poland and Hungary and go, fuck you. We don't care how much you fine us. We're not doing that.
Are you sure it's called Long Shadow, mate?
I'm sure.
Must not be on British Netflix then.
I just looked. That's surprising. I mean, it is a British show, but absolutely is a British documentary.
Nope.
RJ, in regards to Toddy Westbrook and all that crap, they acted like a bunch of children. They should have just settled all that off the internet. They all live close to each other, from what I understand. They should have all gotten together in the same room and hashed it out without tweeting shit, without making videos, without doing all the crap that they did. Now she deleted a video and she's DMCAing everybody, because I bet you anything they have clips of the video that she deleted in their video for commentary purposes, and she doesn't want any vestiges of the video to remain on the internet. When we all know, once you stick something on the internet, it's there forever.
Functionals found it. He says it's on Canuck Netflix.
That's a bit gay, isn't it?
I wonder why they wouldn't be on British, since it is a British production.
I have no idea. Can I get into Canadian Netflix?
I don't know.
I just clicked Netflix Canada. Long Shadow in a World. No, I can't get to it. Never mind. That's all right. I'll go back.
But it was,
and
it's a shame, because the first episode was really very interesting, because he was showing how World War One had a lot more long-reaching effect on the world than it sometimes gets credit for, because it's overshadowed by World War Two. It was interesting up to that point, but boy, it sure took a left turn.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I'd love to know why what he's actually basing that on in the first place, really.
Yeah, but from everything that I could gather, it's just pretty much, I mean, I summed it up in that Britain was able to affect a modern democracy and still maintain the middle ground. And he made a big deal out of they were able to keep their monarchy.
Okay.
I don't see how that's got anything to do with anything, but
so we work things out for us, and it worked out for us.
Yeah.
We're a different country, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
What? All right. It's not like we have the most representative system now.
Yeah. Devil Fruit Zero, yes, in a very real way, and in many ways, World War One led to World War Two. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I don't know what this guy's on about, but
well, that was my exact thing, and I was, like I said, I was actually enjoying it up to that point, and then he took that left turn, and I'm like, dude, you're an idiot. I mean, I get it. You're proud of your country, and you should be. I'd like to see everybody be able to be proud in their country, but yeah, no. You're oversimplifying the evil United States.
Right?
Well, whatever that means. I could Google it. Long Shadow. So a goosey gander. Is it on BBC? David Reynolds traces the legacy of the Great War.
And maybe it's just me, but the dude looks so smug all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Some people have a resting smug face.
that must be the case. So smug.
It's like, to me, I have figured out watching different people on videos and stuff. That there's 3 different kinds of faces. If you're a female, you can have a resting bitch face. If you're a dude, you have a resting dick face. And if you just look like you're better than everybody all the time, you have a resting smug face.
Oh, I have one of those. James,
yeah, it says it's on YouTube. I can see that. I'll have to give that a goosey gander.
Yes, he was a balding man. Yeah. I have the resting whatever face. I get asked all the time, why are you mad? I'm not mad. Well, you look mad. I'm not. I remember years and years ago, my siblings and I got together with the children that we had at that time. Tell you how long ago, Mom of Many, that many of you know in the chat, was just a little bitty baby at the time we took that picture. But we decided to take a family picture to give to Mom and Dad. You know, had it blown up real big and everything. And we're sitting there, and me being the oldest, they placed me in front. And the photographer kept saying, you need to smile. You need to smile, sir. And my baby sister's probably, he is smiling. That's smile. Just take the picture.
Also, it's like my mom. She will avoid having a picture taken like the plague. I mean, when we went on the road trip the year my grandmother was in the hospital, the only photo I have of her that I posted on Facebook was when I took my phone, hung it out the window, and took a picture of her via the rearview mirror, because if she sees the camera, she will duck it. She's got mad reflexes when it comes to that.
Yeah, I'm not real fond of getting my picture taken. Not real fond of it. But, you know, if somebody wants to take my picture, I'll let them take it. And then, okay, you're good. One's all you get.
Well, I'm looking at part 2, and there's lots of positive comments.
Well, of course there is.
There's always going to be.
But yeah, you watch that, Bear, and see if you don't get the same impression that I did. You know, like, what are you talking about, dude? I'm like you. Okay, so you found the form of democracy that was best for the UK. Okay, good on you. Great.
Is it at the end of part 2? Is it?
Yeah, it's the latter half of part 2 that it really goes south.
Oh, I'll have to give that a watch then.
But while I'm at a pause, it's that time, folks. So I didn't see any guesses. I guess you guys are getting away from guessing when the old man goes. But if you felt like it was going to be about 45 minutes, you were correct. So I'll be right back.
There you go. There you go. What's going on, everybody? I hope you're all well on this glorious Thursday. Brits in the chat, I hope you went out and voted today. And I was hearing stories popping up that EU citizens were being turned away at polling stations.
Wow.
Something that I actually didn't know is that EU citizens are allowed to vote in other countries' European MEP elections.
Wow.
For some strange reason. I don't know why. They're allowed. They shouldn't be allowed. They're our politicians who represent us in Europe. They shouldn't be allowed to vote in our elections at all. But apparently they do have the right to do so if they're registered. And of course they were being turned away today, which I'm not exactly mad about. You be my former EXO, Dectran. Killian, I do like the bird, but he is mean as hell. And what the hell was going on in the chat there? What's going on, Zero? Hey, Bear, watch your live stream this morning. Didn't see you in the chat, mate. Should we eliminate the UK government? You mean kill them? No, we shouldn't. I do not advocate violence. Not that I'd be mad.
Just hope that the EU gets peacefully dissolved for some reason and just, goes back under the rock from whence they came.
I think it'd be economic collapse through the single currency that destroys the EU, if I'm honest with you. Bear, where do you keep Breakfast with Bear videos? Can't find them. Well, that's because they're unlisted, mate. I either unlist them or I private them. Because it makes the channel look messy and spams people's sub feeds when I don't want them watching those streams afterwards. I want them watching my videos, not the live streams. The only streams I keep up is Ghost Poo. And even then, that's that. At least Ghost Poo's put into a playlist. So, it doesn't really matter if it's unlisted or not. I was late to the party, had to watch it, not live. So you watched a VOD then, mate. Okay, hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry, guys, I'm being a bit obnoxious today. My bad. Yeah. Should the UK collectively throw May into the middle of the ocean? Well, I mean, again, I'm not advocating for violence, but I wouldn't be mad at the idea. No, my luck, that old hag doesn't need to breathe underwater because she's already dead. Do you think the EU people voted to stay then? Foreign collusion? Well, they couldn't vote to. Well, when it came to the referendum, I don't know if they. I'm fairly sure they weren't allowed to vote in the referendum. Of course, today's not a referendum; it's voting for MEPs, so it's a different type of election. We'll have to look that up, though. Why is my phone vibrating?
Somebody trying to call you?
No, it's a text message.
Oh.
And then now is the point in the stream where, Papa won't do it, so I will. This stream and all this channel's content is made possible by people like you through Super Chats and the Streamlabs link below. Also, don't forget to like the stream for Papa, because it's Papa, and we all love Papa. And don't forget to share it out, because we know YouTube's too lazy, too.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody say, wayo, wayo! What was I talking about? Oh, European stuff. The bug of the EU. I hope it falls apart as soon as possible.
Yeah. Speaking of that, on the radio, I think it was yesterday morning I heard it. I heard that the Queen visited her first grocery store recently.
Did she?
Yeah.
God, I hope she didn't go to Lidl's or Aldi's.
Whatever the grocery store was, it was like they were celebrating like the 50th anniversary of it or something.
Oh
I don't know. I haven't seen the article. It was just what I was hearing on the radio. But she actually got to work the self-checkout counter, which she'd never seen before. Because she's the Queen.
Totally. I mean, why grocery shop when you have people to do those things for you?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Of course, what I was listening to was Bob and Tom shows what it was. They went off into, they found something that I don't know if it was the article they were reading about or whatever that went into what the Queen actually has in her purse.
Wow.
Yeah.
10 dildos of varying sizes.
I would not doubt it. No, it was, let's see if I can recall, reading glasses, obviously, a fountain pen, lipstick, and a mirror, a purse hook, which I guess is a thing. I didn't know that, but you can attach it to like tables or whatever to hook your purse on. And sometimes money, but her money is actually ironed.
Wow, I did not know that.
She went to Heathrow, apparently.
Yeah.
Heathrow Airport.
She has people to iron her money so that it's nice and crisp and flat.
She went to Heathrow Airport yesterday.
Was it?
Or today. Where she met employees and stuff.
I'm pretty sure it was a grocery store, the article I was hearing about. I didn't see the article itself. I just heard it on the radio.
Oh, I just typed the Queen visits into Google and then got the news up and she's gone to Heathrow. Well, she must have popped into one of the shops there, went and bought herself some fun size shampoo and then left.
That might have been.
Oh, there it is. Oh, it's a bloody video. Piss off. Oh, she went to a Sainsbury's. Okay, yeah, that's a fairly upmarket kind of supermarket here in the UK. It's not the highest one. Like the highest one's like Ocado.
Yeah. Oh, I got some good news and bad news regarding the rescue.
Oh.
Yeah. Within the next 2 weeks, we're hoping we have the money up to pay the pet deposit, so Ruby Sue can finally have her forever home. The bad news is, while she was at the Fosters, a bigger dog attacked her. She wound up at an animal hospital, and she wound up losing an eye.
Oh my.
Ow.
Yeah. So yeah, I was called and informed of that, and I said, well, that just means she's going to need some extra love and attention. Because we're not giving up on Ruby Sue. It's not clippers. I was just like cutting paper because I'm ADD and needed something for my hands to do. And I didn't realize that the microphone was picking it up. Sorry, guys.
That's all right. All right.
But from what I understand, Ruby Sue's taking it in stride, and she hasn't let that affect her personality any. She's still very outgoing and sweet. So that's a good thing. When she does come home, I've already renamed Zeus's old channel. No, I am not going to delete the Zeus videos because Zeus will forever be loved. But Ruby Sue's videos will be uploaded to that Newshound channel so everybody can see Ruby Sue.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, she went to a Sainsbury's. She went to a Sainsbury's, yeah.
Yeah, according to what I heard, it was the first time, and it'd be no surprise to any of us, but it was the first time she'd ever seen a self-checkout counter. So
I bet she lost her temper with it, like I do every time I use one.
It's like, dammit, scan the barcode.
I know, those things drive me mad. It's like you find out a lot of items that you grab obviously are age limited, and the little alarm thing goes off, a little red light starts going off, and you got to wait for a member of staff to come over to you and approve it, or they ID you or whatever.
Right.
Would you like some 8 fun facts about Her Majesty?
Oh, absolutely.
She doesn't have a passport.
No.
That's all right. Elizabeth, you're not special. I don't have a passport either. I mean, mine's out of date. So, as you know, she has 2 different birthdays. And I actually went to go see one of her birthdays as a kid, because my nan took me to go see. And did you know that she drove a truck in World War II? She was involved in the war effort.
I did know that, yes.
Mm-hmm. She was in the Women's Auxiliary Territorial Service. She trained in London as a mechanic and military truck driver.
Yeah.
Funny enough, just like my mother did when she joined the Royal Logistics Corps in the 70s, I think it was. She paid for her own wedding dress with ration coupons. Would you believe?
Yeah.
Wow.
Obviously, she didn't take her husband's name, and she didn't name him king. So my title, my power.
Mm-hmm.
She sent an email in 1976.
Wow.
She's ahead of her time.
Yeah.
Holy Moses.
She was shot at by a teenager in 1981. Teens, unruly little shits.
I guess.
The teen was actually sent to a psychiatric prison for 3 years.
Well,
She was actually riding a horse at the time.
Wow.
She's got loads of medals as well. Holy crap. You see, our royal family they don't just sit there. They join our military. They get involved in war efforts. Queen Elizabeth got involved in World War II. Harry and William both went to Afghanistan.
Yeah. one of them wound up getting pissed because they kept pulling him off the front line. Forgot which one it was.
Harry.
Yeah.
That's why they trained him to be an Apache pilot. It was a compromise they had to come to. And he was getting mad about that. Really mad.
Yeah.
And also, did you know that Prince Harry and Prince William hated the mainstream media before it was cool? for very obvious reasons, but yeah, they hated the mainstream media way before.
There's an argument to be made that the media is what got their mom killed.
Yeah, there absolutely is. So it was certainly something that caused her a massive amount of stress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
While she was still married to Charlie. Yeah. Talk about the corgis. What? The Queen has corgis. There you go.
Full stop.
Yeah, I found out about that on Twitter when I said that we were going to be looking for a rescue dog, and I really wanted a corgi. And everybody was like, "Oh, now you can do your British accent on videos and have the corgi sitting on your lap like the Queen." And I'm like, "What? She's got corgis? I didn't know that." But yeah, Ruby Sue's a little Boston Terrier, so she's, I think it's going to be cool. My mom called yesterday, and when I told her when she comes down from Minnesota on September to visit us, that we're going to have an addition to the family. And my mom immediately followed it up with, "I knew it wasn't going to take too long before you got a dog."
But are they assault corgis? Yes, they are. Oh dear.
Attack corgis. Yeah.
Attack corgis. That's right.
They're trained to take you down by the ankles.
Fuzzy butts. They're all fuzzy butts. That's what makes them cute. The fuzzy butts and the faces.
Yeah. Would you like some more facts about Queen Elizabeth while we're here?
Yeah.
She wasn't born an heir apparent to the throne.
What?
For the first 10 years of her life, Princess Elizabeth was a relatively minor royal. Her status was akin to Princess Beatrice. And can't pronounce that. Eugenie of York today. But that all changed with the death of her grandfather, King George V, in 1936. The next in the line of royal succession was Elizabeth's uncle, Edward the Eighth, who abdicated the throne less than a year after taking it so that he could marry an American socialite named Wallace Simpson. There you go. Americans fucking up the royal family for over 100 years now. Her younger sister gave her a family nickname. It was Ballbag. It wasn't. Elizabeth and Margaret were the only children of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, and I remember when she died, and King George the Sixth, who said of his daughters, Lilibet is my pride, Margaret my joy. Lilibet, of course, is Elizabeth. So really terrible. She didn't go to school. She didn't go to school. There you go.
Well, I'm sure she got educated, though.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Absolutely
Yeah, of course.
positive they had private tutors.
But she and Margaret technically did have a teacher.
Yeah.
Well, of course she bloody did. Like, she was a princess. She wanted to go to war, but she was too young. Seems to be a common theme amongst the royal family. I want to go kill people. You can't. You're a royal. Nah. I want to go kill people.
I want to go kill the commoners.
One would enjoy blowing up some bloody Germans, as it were.
Well, that would be funny since her family is Germanic of origin.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting, isn't it?
Isn't it?
It's funny because there's a picture of of some of the royals back then who were doing the Sig Heil salute that the Sun cropped up and plastered all over the papers a couple of years back. She celebrated the end of the war by partying like her subjects, getting drunk, getting dirty, and waking up with a couple of STDs. There you go. She married a cousin. Yeah, well, we know the royals are all into inbreeding. Elizabeth and Prince Philip have known each other since childhood. Well, yeah, they're family. It kind of makes sense. She didn't tell her parents she was getting hitched. She's a bit of a
rebel.
Yeah, a bit of a rebel, wouldn't she?
Yeah.
Obviously, we really know a couple of we know she has 2 birthdays. Her coronation was televised against her wishes, and I'm sure the cameraman was shortly beheaded afterwards. She doesn't need some of these facts we already know. She doesn't need a driver's license either because she's the queen. God damn it!
Yeah.
I told you she's above the law. She doesn't have to pay taxes, but she does pay taxes. She does. She chooses to because she's a good lady.
Yeah, I have no issue with the royal family. With it, I don't understand it. I don't understand the need to have one, but I have no issues with them.
Yeah.
She technically owns all the dolphins in the UK.
What?
They're mine. Along with all the swans. They're mine as well.
Wow.
She has her own special money to give to the poor. Maundy money. The queen has silver coins. Okay.
Yeah, they were talking about when they were talking about her money being ironed, which, how do you get that job? What's your job? I iron the queen's money.
Right.
It's mostly for when she goes to church because she'll give money to the church.
It's been a tradition for queens in this country to do for hundreds of years. So, gin is her drink of choice.
Imagine my shock.
She created her own breed of dogs. Elizabeth has a famous avowed love of corgis. She has owned more than 30 of them during her reign. All corgis belong to Queen Elizabeth as well, probably.
Apparently.
She's on social media as well, apparently. Well, I doubt she is. It's probably one of her helpers. The people that are employed in the palace don't earn that much money, but it kind of makes sense because they get bed and board for free.
Right.
They obviously they live in. They earn something like 13 grand a year or something like that. Yeah, there you go. There's some fun facts.
Yeah.
About Her Majesty.
And back to the fact that their family was German of origin, and the chat mentioned a few things. Yeah, that was the other thing that in that documentary they talked about in World War II or World War I was, at the outbreak of World War I, many of the crowned heads of Europe were all related.
Yeah.
They were cousins to the Tsar of Russia. The Habsburgs, all that. That all changed after World War I because many of those crowned heads met a bad end.
Would you like to hear 9 powers that she has?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I find it interesting.
She, as you know, she opens Parliament sessions. So Parliament, not the royal family, is the United Kingdom's highest governing body, and yet Queen Elizabeth II does still have some power over this legislative group containing hundreds of individuals. Namely, she must officially open Parliament every May to commence the parliamentary year. The ceremony is elaborate and steeped in tradition. The Queen must lead a procession through the Royal Gallery at the Palace of Westminster, wear the imperial state crown, and give a formal address. I bet she hates doing that.
I have to wear that bloody hat again.
Exactly. She's 93. She's a little old lady.
Yeah.
As you know as well, all laws that are proposed have to go through the House of Commons, then the House of Lords, and then it has to go to royal assent, and the Queen has to sign off on it before it can go through. You already knew that. She can appoint ministers to the Crown. Most government officials in the United Kingdom are chosen through a vote, but the Queen can appoint ministers to the Crown, including advisors and cabinet officials herself. She most frequently chooses from the existing members of Parliament. So that's kind of her way of appearing not to kind of subvert democracy.
Right.
It's like, well, you already elected them, so I mean, I can choose them because they've already been elected. This ability isn't unique to the Queen, though. The Prime Minister also has the power to do it as well. She can pardon criminals. And she actually pardoned Alan Turing as well in 2013.
Oh yeah, Alan, the computer guy.
Enigma.
Yeah.
She herself can issue passports. Well, come on, Her Majesty, come on. I don't want to pay 70 quid for a new one. just sort of, she commands the armed forces as well. She is the commander in chief after all. She can also declare war without any kind of vote. And I've told you this before, guys. She can dissolve parliament, and I'm kind of hoping that she does at some point. Present citizens with titles of honor. So you can be given, what is it that we give people? We give people orders of the British Empire. You must have heard people getting OBEs and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. There's another one. Obviously, she can knight people as well. She's knighted Sir Patrick Stewart, Sir Elton John, who is the Knight of Fabulousness. To be fair, those titles don't exactly confer much in the way of power, but they sure make your name sound a lot cooler. Yeah, they do. It's an honor. It's an honor that's bestowed by Her Majesty.
She knighted one of the Beatles too, didn't she?
Not 100% sure, but it wouldn't surprise me if she had. She's knighted a lot of people. She's given OBEs and everything to plenty of people for doing like excellent charity work and stuff. You know, it's kind of like a nice little reward, if you will. You can walk around going, "Ha! I'm a knight."
Yeah. I am Sir Paul of McCartney.
Exactly. I'm above your station.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah. So there you go, guys. The Queen doesn't need a passport to travel. Yeah, I know that. I already said that, Foxy. Were you paying attention?
Yeah, when they did mention that on the radio when they were talking about it yesterday, at the same time they mentioned that Trump does not carry a passport, but he does have one. Someone else takes care of that for him.
Yeah.
Haven't people declined the honor? It wouldn't surprise me. There's a lot of anti-royalists out there.
Yeah.
You know, the royal family does a lot of things to kind of keep them people off the royal family's back.
Yeah.
Things like, not getting involved in the democratic process, that often, paying taxes, doing tons and tons of charity work,
Right.
Not really giving her 2 cents on the current events, if you will.
Yeah.
The most that she'll do is like her Christmas and New Year's speeches. I'd love it if she declared war, though. I go, right, you bunch of fuckers! I've had enough of this shit.
That would be hilarious.
It would be funny. But no, yeah, she does command the armed forces. And there's an order she can give where it's usually at the end of something like Armed Forces Day, where she'll speak to the entirety of the armed forces. And she'll say, splice the main brace. And whereas that's like an old naval term for when ships are made out of wood and men were made out of steel. What that actually means now in the current year is it means get drunk. And I can assure you, the last time I heard it, it was chaos.
Yeah.
Oh,
imagine my shock, though, that her drink of choice is gin. How
Right.
utterly British.
I'm surprised by that.
Actually, it's not Britain. There was a time in my life when in 1979, I moved to California for a while, Southern California. And I lived in a house with 2 other guys. We shared the rent and all that. And you could open our refrigerator and you wouldn't normally find much food in there because we were poor. But one thing you could always count on finding was the makings for gin and tonics. So
Yeah, I'm not a fan of gin.
oh, if done right, it wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. If there was any food, it was generally tofu and avocado, but we would make burritos and stuff out of that. Didn't quite like it, but at least it put food on our belly.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. What else has been going on? I see Extinction Rebellion are in my Twitter feed.
I don't know. Here in the States, it's all, impeach Trump still, I wish you all just go ahead and do that.
It's just, oh my God, it's so dumb. And then if you ask, what has he done? They give you a list of nonsense that really isn't illegal.
Well, I wish they'd just go ahead and pull the trigger and do it. Because if he's found innocent, that's just going to work against him.
Yeah.
So, whatever, quit talking about it and either do it or shut up about it. One or the other.
Yeah.
Oh, well, England is to ban plastic items from April 2020.
Huh?
Plastic straws, stirrers, and cotton buds will be banned in England from April 2020 as parts of plans designed to drastically reduce plastic waste. The UK government confirmed the ban Wednesday after an open consultation with the public, according to a statement from environment officials. Officials estimate that 4.7 billion plastic straws, 316 million plastic stirrers, and 1.8 billion plastic stem cotton buds are used in England each year, with 10% of cotton buds disposed of down the toilet. Urgent and decisive action is needed to tackle plastic pollution and protect our environment, said Environment Secretary Michael Gove. God, that guy looks like a giant rat. These items are often used for just a few minutes, but take hundreds of years to break down, ending up in our seas and oceans and harming precious marine life. The ban would include exemptions for those who require plastic straws due to medical needs or disabilities, with registered pharmacies allowed to sell them. You got a license for that straw, mate. And harming precious marine life. Restaurants, pubs, and bars keeping a stock they will be able to provide to customers on request. It is hoped the measures will be able to reduce plastic pollution in the oceans, which kills more than 100,000 sea mammals and 1 million birds each year. There are 150 million metric tons of plastic in our oceans, and that figure will treble by 2025, according to the statement. Stopping the production and distribution of these single-use plastic menaces will prevent them from polluting beaches nationwide. I wonder how many people are going to lose their friggin' jobs over this.
Not to mention you're screwing over a lot of special needs people that can't drink out of anything but a plastic straw.
It is polluting with Q-tips, and that's what I assume you're talking about with the cotton thingies.
Yeah.
Is that really that big of a problem on the beaches? I mean, come on.
There'll be cotton buds on the beaches.
I mean, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I throw mine in the trash. I don't flush them or throw them on the beach.
I don't know. It's don't get me wrong. I understand that plastic pollution is an issue, and that there's a lot of it, especially in bodies of water and stuff. But I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't either. Yes, Foxy, I have seen that. Seen it on Twitter earlier today, and I've said for quite a long while, you can make America go as green as you want, but that doesn't do anything for China.
Yep.
I kind of like my new keyboard, but it's super loud when I type. I'm a heavy-handed guy. What can I say?
Yeah, well, I'm a two-finger typist, and I'm not afraid to admit it. and yeah, it tends to be very noisy when I type.
Mm,
Because I use the Columbus method of typing. You know, I search it out, discover it, and land on it.
yeah. Ugh. Sounds like ASMR. It's funny you say that because there are ASMR videos on YouTube of people just hitting keys on their keyboard.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, you find that relaxing?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, and thank you, Owen Harmon, for the donation. Elephant in the room, cars. Huge bloody cars driven by morons in cities. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting here reading the replies to this one tweet from, I guess, fandom on Twitter, because they linked a Vanity Fair article and they said, in hashtag the rise of Skywalker, Rey's Jedi training has progressed to the point where it's almost complete. Now I'm scrolling down reading these, and one person literally said, her training? You mean her pre-installed space goddess powers? Please.
Mr. Dax says it's a nice sound. I also like scissor sound because it reminds me of barber trips. I don't know. I was never that fond of going to the barber, but I certainly do have memories of going to the barber with my dad. Back in the days before there were places like Great Clips and things like that. It's okay for guys to go there.
Yep.
I appreciate everybody in the chat there, Sarah in particular, shilling the old Streamlabs. Don't worry about me for this stream. Just show for Bloodwing. Of course, guys, if you want to support Bloodwing, support Redneck Radio, you can do so by dropping a like on the live stream. Like it. I mean, we've got half an hour left. If you haven't decided whether you liked it or not, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
So drop a like, share the stream out, share Bloodwing's channel around with your friends and family because it's a good, wholesome Christian show 3 times a week. And of course, if you want to help him keep his internet online and keep the lights on in his house, throw some shekels at him, guys. Throw some shekels.
Yeah, I'm not one of these guys that's going to lie to you and say it'll help me do better content and all that. And no, my money's going on bills.
Yeah, so does mine. Mine is right now all the money that, when I stream or do whatever, all my money is going to furniture for the apartment and food in the stomach.
Perfectly Faded Delusions. I'm just glad you made it. It's okay that you're late, dude. The stuff happens. Yeah, stuff happens, man. So what else we got besides dead air?
Holy shit. Okay. Well, at least it isn't politically motivated. Headline out of CNN, teen set to graduate from high school and Harvard within 11 days. How do you do both of those at the same time?
I don't know.
Lots of AP classes. I'm waiting for it to load because I got it on my on the laptop and not on the smartphone. Here we go. All right, here we go. We're about to find out. Braxton Morrill, what a name, walked across the stage Sunday at his high school in Ulysses, Kansas, as a newly minted graduate. Less than 2 weeks later, the 17-year-old is set on May 30 to mark another milestone, receiving his undergraduate degree from Harvard University. Morrill's parents, and I'm not mispronouncing that, M-O-R-A-L, Morrill's parents, enrolled him at the world-renowned institution when he was just 11, he told CNN. My parents noticed I was bored in school and needed something to inspire growth, so they ended up finding the Extension School, he said. Harvard Extension School is mostly for non-traditional learners, be it someone with a job or who's not in the age range of a typical college student, Morrill said. Most courses can be taken online, but Extension School students also must earn 16 credit hours in person at the iconic campus in Cambridge, Massachusetts, said Morrill, who majored in government. Oh, God, another political scientist. With a minor in English. Morrill is currently a degree candidate from the school. A Harvard University spokesman confirmed another politician. Good Lord. An extraordinary vocabulary and stunning memory. Well, studying for both high school and Harvard at the same time wasn't easy, Morrill said. No shit, really? But officials at his high schools took a lot off the load, allowing him to spend a couple of hours each day working on Harvard's coursework. Morrill has always been drawn to law and politics. He is now hoping to go to law school, preferably at Columbia, he said. I am, of course, excited to end this chapter of my life and anxious to begin the next, he said. Morrill's older sister, 29-year-old Brittany Jo Seeger, told CNN her brother's always been talented. When he was little, his vocabulary was extraordinary, she said. Something my mom and sister noticed early was his memory. That's one of the things that makes him incredible. But he can look at anything or read anything, and he will instantly remember it from ever. So he has an eidetic memory. This didn't always benefit us older kids, she joked. I bet. Watching Morrill walk across the stage during his first graduation was bittersweet, Seeger said, because their parents couldn't be there due to their mother's health issues. My mother got a kidney transplant the week before, and my mother and father couldn't be there because of that. We were a very close family, so we gathered together to help honor him in such a special time, Seeger said. We can't wait for Harvard graduation next week and for Brax to start a new chapter in his life and focus on his love for politics. Morrill is also publishing a book, Harvard in the Heartland, about his experience as an intellectually gifted boy, he's modest, from a small farming town in western Kansas, according to the book synopsis. So yeah, he's already modest. I say that heavily with a lot of sarcasm.
Yeah, sounds like a smart boy.
Yeah, he does. I mean, it's nice to see, kids doing that. It's just the politics that makes me cringe. I'm like, please don't be on the way left. Oh, I remember when I graduated high school, we had one girl that graduated with a 4.3 average because she took 2 advanced placement classes, got 5 scholarships to go to 6 different colleges and universities. And so she chose, what was it, Tuskegee Technical University to study business management. My friend that was sitting next to me saw me face palm, and she goes, "Why are you face palming?" I said, "Why are you going to go to a college known for its technical curriculum to study business management?"
Yeah, you'd think they'd pick a different school, but
right. Because at that time, I still wanted to be an aerospace engineer, so it was just beyond me that she was like, "I'm going to go to Tuskegee and major in business management." And I'm sitting here going, "Okay, so smarts doesn't necessarily negate common sense. I'm learning this now."
Yeah. Alex, I don't know if you've seen it earlier, but Jen asked, when will you guys get your results for the election?
I like it when you guys call me Alex. Sunday.
Sunday. That's Sunday. Right. Yeah, he did say that earlier. Yeah. See, and I already forgot. I'll tell you what.
That's sometimers, man.
Yeah. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't.
Yeah, I believe it was old Richard Pryor that coined that as he got older.
Yeah.
Oh, and Harmon. All right, fuck you all. I was a moron and I studied political science.
The necro soul. I may change Mr. Collins in the chat there. Sheesh. Just now seen the exchange on Twitter. What exchange? Are you referring to the guy who, instead of actually explaining his argument to me, just told me to go back to primary school?
God. Yeah. When I was going to college, I accidentally stuck a foot in my mouth because I didn't ask this girl her major first. So we were talking about stuff. And all of a sudden she's like, "Well, what do you think of political science courses and, being a politician and stuff?" Well, I said, "I think personally that's the only degree that you can strive for, where BS doesn't stand for Bachelor of Science. It stands for bullshit degree." She goes, "Well, I'm majoring in political science." I said, "Well, you shouldn't have asked."
Yeah. He said, yes, that's what it was about, Alex. And why somebody telling you to go back to school?
Oh, let me get this argument up. Okay, so this initially started with my thread about the milkshake thing, which I posted on May 21st, so 2 days ago. One of my followers replied to me, who is pretty much in agreement, and he was telling me about a argument that he'd had with somebody that was basically in favor of throwing milkshakes at people. And I had a look at this guy shared a screenshot of their argument to kind of give context. Just bearing in mind he has pronouns in his profile, people. So like the guy who follows me, who wanted to kind of talk, said, well, words are not violence, words are just that. What you want is actual physical violence, and you seem to be more than happy to start it. Maybe Antifa would take you. They seem to enjoy acts of violence as much as you do, as long as you aren't attacked back. And of course, this chap replied to him, and well, obviously shared the screenshot of. He said, Adolf Hitler's speeches weren't violence. Trump's calls for violence weren't violent. Wow, you went from Adolf Hitler to Trump just like that.
Well,
and then he says,
he
said David Duke and Richard Spencer just used words to spread non-violent racism and demands for ethno-states. Totally no violence there. How much have you thought through the topic? And I quote tweeted him this morning, and I said, you lost me when you went from Hitler to Trump to David Duke. And of course he replied back saying, go back to primary school and pay attention this time. Yeah, good argument there, mate.
Yeah. Thank you, Owen Harmon, for the donation. Bet Alex mixes the best milkshakes. I don't know. Do you?
Does that sounds a bit sexual, doesn't it?
It does a little when you think about it. Yeah, when you think about it. Ooh. Yeah, point out to me where Trump advocated violence. Yeah, point out to me, and David Duke and then the other racist crowd. Yeah, sure, they spouted racist stuff, but it's up to the individual that's listening to accept that or not.
Yeah, it looks like I'm going to be having to dig up some information on this because Foxy tagged me on Twitter. BNL News on Twitter says, breaking news, U.S. charges WikiLeaks founder Assange for publishing classified information. First such charge in U.S. history.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been keeping up on the Assange thing. Last time I talked about him, it got me in trouble. Chat didn't like it.
I think you and I think I had agreed with you on that.
Yeah.
So chat didn't like me either.
They didn't like it. So, yeah. And until there's some really big breaking news on that front, I'm going to leave it alone.
Do you think the milkshake thing is analogous to spitting on returning vets after Vietnam?
Not really. I mean, yes, it's certainly assault of people that didn't deserve it, but it was a much darker and much bigger blow in the Vietnam thing.
Yeah.
I mean, these are young boys and women, that were trying to do their duty. And remember, we had the draft in those days, so not everybody that served in Vietnam wanted to be there.
No, and you had a lot of people dodging the draft too.
Yeah,
Clinton.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't see it as the same. No. I see the disrespect of our veterans as being a much greater sin, honestly. But yeah, spit is bodily fluid, and there's an argument to be had if you spit on someone that it could be something akin to assault with a deadly weapon, because there's such a thing called AIDS and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, also too, if you spit, I mean, it is assault in that if you spit on a police officer, it's assaulting a police officer.
Yeah.
So obviously it's assault. So whether it's spit or a milkshake, it's assault because you're attacking somebody with something. I mean, it's a waste of a milkshake. I mean, it's the only thing good, in my opinion, that McDonald's makes is the milkshakes. But
Well, I've said all along, why do you want to waste a perfectly good milkshake for?
right?
Drink that son of a gun.
I mean, I'm not a McDonald's fan, but I will go to McDonald's for a milkshake. I like their milkshakes.
I like their milkshakes.
I mean, why waste food? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know, right?
I've got better uses for food. That's like, get in my belly.
I mean, right? I mean, not to encourage these idiots, but shoot them with a water gun. Get them with a super soaker. I mean, come on.
Or, and I know that this is, this is a radical idea, or maybe just keep your hands to yourself.
Right? God, that seems to be like the hard choice nowadays.
Yeah.
Red Feather, when I finally get my ninja, I will be making videos of me making smoothies. I love me a smoothie.
Bear, I think you're rubbing off on me. My neck is now starting to hurt.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not allowed you to.
Yeah, he was telling me before the stream that his neck was hurting.
Yeah, I'm always getting neck ache, dude.
And now
really bad last night.
Doggone it. It's your fault.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
I didn't do nothing.
That's what I keep trying to tell Ronan. He keeps trying to blame everything on me. I'm like, I'm not even in the truck. We'll be talking. He's like, I gotta go potty. Damn you, this is your fault. You and your potty culture. I'm like, excuse me, Mr. Truck Driver. Everybody's got to pee. Yeah.
Potty culture.
That's what he says. Because I usually had to use the bathroom more often than he did. So he's like, your potty culture is rubbing off on me. I said, excuse me, Mr. Truck Driver. Everybody's got to go pee sometime.
He should be glad that I'm not riding with him in his truck. I gotta go. And I don't have to go again yet, but I'm pretty sure by the time the stream's over, I'll have to go. I can feel it coming.
The only thing that is criminal deck about a Frosty is now they ask you if you want vanilla or chocolate. To me, there will only be one Frosty, and that's chocolate. You can get out of here with that vanilla Frosty shit.
I don't know. I kind of like the Oreo Frosties.
Well, see, I haven't tried those.
Yeah, they're pretty decent. I kind of like those. And they used to have, I don't know if they still do, the Heath Bar Frosties.
Yeah, I got a head.
Which I couldn't eat one of them now. My teeth wouldn't take it, but
yeah. It used to be when I was in high school, I used to love the fact that I could eat those being lactose intolerant because they were made with kelp and not milk. I don't know if they've switched it, put milk in it, but I'll still eat it.
Yeah, RJ Bansman, what kind of dumb question is that? What kind of dumb question is that? I'm a full-blooded redneck American, and you're asking me if I want a steak? Of course, I want a steak.
I want a steak.
Yeah. Vanilla, Angry Illinoisan vanilla has never really been my favorite flavor because I like my favorite ice cream flavor is mint chocolate chip.
Yeah,
that's an excellent choice, by the way.
Yeah,
thank you.
I can't eat my favorite ice cream anymore because it's butter pecan.
Oh,
and I cannot eat it anymore because the pecans tear my teeth up. But next to that, just plain old chocolate. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, that silly question to ask a redneck if he wants a steak. Of course I do.
So it's funny because we learned from my biology teacher that they used to make the Frosties with the kelp. And when he said that, most of the class was like, ew, gross, nasty. And here I am in the middle of the class going, yes, I'm not allergic to that.
Yeah, as long as you can't taste it, who cares?
Man, it tastes like chocolate. It eats like, it's like I had never had any problems with it.
It's RJ Bansman, how do you like your steak? I like that steak so rare that if you slap a couple of Band-Aids on that dude, he's back grazing in the field.
In other words, just run the steer by the table.
That's right. Yeah.
Ronan's the same way.
I do love it. you know, I'm not one that looks, if I look in the ingredients and see something and don't, you know, that might gross somebody out, I don't let that. I love, which is odd because I don't like liver, but I do like liverwurst.
I don't like
I love liverwurst. And if you've ever looked at the ingredients in liverwurst, don't look at them while you're eating. I'll put it that way. But I love it. Yeah.
make granitas. When I get the kitchen set up to where I want it, to where I can tape the videos, I'm gonna make all sorts of Cuban food, including attempting one of the most famous Cuban desserts out there called tres leches, because that thing is not easy to make. Because I already know how to make the flan, which is also a pain in the butt, and rice pudding.
Nectar salt coffee ice cream is not bad if it's done right. I've had it and it is tasty. Although one place I stopped, it tasted like instant coffee, and I'm like, no, can't do that. But yeah.
Yeah, we had taken one of my dad's friends to a steak place one day. He asked for a New York strip, well done, and Mom said, "If you didn't like steak, all you had to do is say so."
This conversation is making me really hungry.
Yeah, well, I was already hungry. That's the reason I got quiet a little while ago, because I'm really hungry and I was thinking about what am I going to eat. Chicken fried, deck train chicken fried bacon. Yeah, I prefer just straight up fried bacon myself, but yeah, chicken fried's not bad. Vanza says Reese's ice cream is my favorite. It's a little heavy on the peanut butter for me. A little heavy on the peanut butter. Yeah. Little strong on the peanut butter.
Yep.
If you like liverwurst, Jen says, if you like liverwurst, Bloodwing, do you like pate? I've had it. It's above my pay grade, so I haven't had it often. But yeah, it wasn't too bad.
So far on my weird foods to try list, I've tried caviar. I tried it when I was 11, and I described it as slimy pop rocks. And I've had escargot, and I'm not doing either one of those two ever again.
I've never had the escargot, although I would try it. My mother raised me, you don't turn your nose up at any food until you at least try it once.
Yeah.
You know. Jen says, I agree. Jen says, if you can't ride the steak home, then it's overdone. Just saying. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like that. Unless it's mooing. You've done it wrong, son.
Yeah.
It started out good because Ronan laughed because my first escargot was all right. It's fine. It kind of reminds me of eating an oyster, and then all of a sudden the slimy part of the escargot hit, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not doing this again. No, I'm good.
I see people talking about the liver in the chat. And yes, functional. I would even try prairie oysters or Rocky Mountain oysters or whatever you want to call them. I know Maddie knows what those are.
Yeah.
Bear, you know what I'm talking about?
What's that? Sorry.
Prairie oysters.
No.
They are fried testicles.
Yeah.
Oh, delicious.
Bison testicles.
So yeah, I would try them. I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
A century egg. Yeah, I would try it, but I'd have to probably hold my nose because it looks like it stinks.
Yeah, my one of these days, so my mom can finally shut up, I will probably take a picture of me eating cow tongue. I have avoided it all my life because of the weird way my brain works, because I kept telling her I can't eat a food that could be tasting me in the process. And that's just the whole thing puts me off. And then she tried to convince me one day, going, "Well, it tastes just like a filet mignon." I said, "Then give me the filet and skip the tongue."
Well, you remind me of my dad, because years ago, Dad would refuse to eat cow tongue. He just wouldn't eat it. And my aunt tricked him and made him a cow tongue sandwich and told him it was a ham sandwich. And he liked it. He said, "This is the best ham I've ever ate," until she gave in and told him that it was cow tongue, and then he went and threw up.
I've had cow brains, which is called sweetbread. I've had that. So, and that was pretty good. I've had, let me see, what other weird crap.
The only thing I haven't been able to get myself to try is, what is that? And I just had the name, and now it went right out my head. It's a lunch meat, but it looks really, really bad. It just looks like chunks of meat floating in something. Can't remember the name of it. And I just had it, and it just went right out my brain. But anyway, it just looks so bad I can't get myself to try it.
I've had oxtail. I even know how to make oxtail. So that's an island. Everybody's like, the first time I tell somebody that, they're like, "Isn't that a Jamaican dish?" I'm like, "Cubans cook it too."
Yeah. Yeah, I was raised that you don't turn your nose up at any food until you try it, because my mom is head cheese. Thank you, pumpkin trucker. That's exactly what I was thinking about. Yeah. Haven't tried head cheese because it just looks too bad. But yeah, my mom didn't take no for an answer. If she made something for supper, but Mom, I don't like that. Well, have you tried it? No. Well, then you're going to taste it. And then, if you don't like it,
Yeah. No, I haven't had squirrel, foxy, but I have had turtle and rabbit and deer.
Oh, I love deer. Years ago, the fellow I worked for, he was my boss, had killed a deer and had it butchered, and he gave me some of the meat, and I had some of it was ground like hamburger. My wife refused to eat any of the deer meat because she just kept thinking of Bambi, right? She wouldn't eat it. So we went camping, and I'm cooking some hamburgers over the open fire, and we eat hamburgers, and she's just raving about how good, how lean the hamburger was, and it was just so good and everything. And I said, "You know what you ate there, right?" She goes, "Yeah, hamburger." I said, "No, you just ate Bambi."
No, I haven't had gator, but I have had conch fritters down in Key West.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you might not think is tasty, but once you try it, it's is. No, I've never hit a deer. I've known people that have, and I'm glad I haven't, because those things will tear the heck out of your car.
Would you like a new article?
Sure.
Before we take questions and then disappear,
yeah,
so I can go stuff my face. I haven't had my dinner yet. UKIP's European election candidate designated as hate agent in secret Facebook list report. I'll give you one guess as to who they're talking about.
Now read that again. I was reading chat right when you said that. I'm sorry.
UKIP's European election candidate designated as hate agent in secret Facebook list.
Oh, I don't know, but maybe someone like Sargon.
Yeah. You get a cookie.
Yeah. And yet, who asked that? Yes, I have had crawdads. Yes.
Me too.
Carl Benjamin, a British candidate in the European Parliament elections, has reportedly been labelled a hate actor by Facebook, including for neutral representation of a Proud Boys member. Benjamin's inclusion on the blacklist was reported to Breitbart on Wednesday, mere hours before the kickoff of the UK portion of the European elections. Benjamin, mostly known as a prolific political commentator on his YouTube channel, Sargon of Akkad, stepped into offline politics last year, where he joined the UK Independence Party and is now vying for a seat in the European legislature. According to the excerpts from the internal Facebook document as cited by Breitbart, the social networking site's censors are keeping a detailed log of Benjamin's behavior, both on and off the platform. But they shouldn't be.
How the fuck do you do it off the platform? Oh, never mind. Never mind.
I guess read the news.
Right.
Where was I? Such as voicing support for a member of the right-wing Proud Boys group or hurling a homophobic slur. The online snooping is encouraged by Facebook, which allegedly tells its employees to collect various signals of individuals' bad behavior, even outside the platform. The entries are then used to determine whether the person should be included on the hate agent list. The examples provided by Breitbart show how laboriously Facebook's thought police documents not only hate signals, but also take note of borderline content by Benjamin and others. It has a long memory too. Apparently, looking at the content posted as early as 3 years into the past, these are level 3 signals. Oh my God, they've actually made tiers. Level 2 and level 1 signals are respectively 2 and 1 years old. Okay. Benjamin is on notice for level 2 and level 3 signals. In one particularly instance, that's the wrong use of the word there. Benjamin is given a black mark for giving a neutral representation of John Kinsman, member of the Proud Boys, on October 21st last year. Despite this admitted neutrality, the instance was filed by Facebook under praise or support for a designated hate entity.
Wow.
Oh my God, the language that they're using here.
Yeah. Good grief.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Well, Neckersall is saying in chat that the chat was editing him when he was trying to type out redneck. What? I mean, I get it. It's usually used as an insult, but you know, here I am trying to take the name back. Come on, YouTube, knock it off.
Yeah. What he said.
So there's that, and we have a couple of minutes left. We should take questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Boom. I'll have that over there. That over there. Good.
Okay, I'm curious. Let me type it in and see what happens. Maybe
A couple of people. Yeah, it might be. And I've noticed too that when certain things get blocked, that some people can do it and some people can't. Maybe it's a regional thing. I don't know. But in any case, whoever's blocking it and why ever, stop it.
Right.
I are what I are, and that's all that I are.
I still remember last year getting into an argument with somebody on Twitter, and I remember it because he was doing everything he could not to call me, you know, that derogatory term for a Latin American person. And I responded with, I do believe the racial epithet you're looking for is spick. It's okay. You can say
it. Yeah, they wouldn't like some of the jokes I grew up with. Like, you know, do you know what an Italian tire sounds like? They go wop, wop, wop.
Yep.
That's racist.
Right? They would have literally passed out if they would have heard some of the exchanges between me and my friend that's Jewish. Because it'd go back and forth. He'd call me a refugee. I'd call him the K word. He'd call me the S word. And, you know, it'd just go back and forth. And I'm like, well, at least I wasn't the first documented homeless to wander the earth because I couldn't follow directions. And he'd go, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
RJ Bansma says, all right, Bear, Maddie Bloodwing, would it be funny to see the Queen drive a NASCAR stock car? Yeah, absolutely. It'd be amazing.
Yeah. And I could just see her grinning ear to ear.
Yeah.
Saying, we are amused.
Put an LMG in her hands and let her bloody shoot as well while you're there. Get her doing all the American things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Cuban Dolly. That was, I worked at a delivery unit in Noonan, Georgia, with there was somebody from the Dominican Republic. There was me, of course. There was one guy from Puerto Rico. There was 2 people from India, and we became such a close-knit little team that we started making fun of each other's stereotypes. So the whole running joke was if it was started and not finished, we can blame it on the Dominican. If something went missing, the Puerto Rican stole it. If something was thrown and it broke, that was me, because, Cubans and throwing shit. If it was never started or ever done at all, it was the 2 people from India, because literally the general manager was one of the Indian from India arguing with the order taker one day. And I was just about out the door when he said, "That's it. That's the last time I hire an Indian person. They don't want to work."
Yeah.
And I just stood there, kind of trying not to laugh out loud. And he goes, "No, you can laugh."
Foxy says, "Have you ever seen the Queen in person?" Yes, as a child. But I've seen her family members as an adult.
I've never
whilst I was serving.
Never seen the Queen, but I have shook the hands of 2 serving while they were in office American presidents, Tricky Dicky and Gerald Ford.
Tricky Dicky.
At any rate, we are now at that time, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's food time.
Yeah, we're all hungry because we've talked about food, and it's the clock has ticked past the 4:30 EST mark, which means it's time to end the stream. Thank you, chat. Thank you, everyone, for supporting the stream by your presence. As Maddie said earlier, this would not exist if not for you. So thank you very much. Thank you for those that were able to donate. Your money will go to a very good cause called paying the bills and keeping food on the table. Thank you. Thank you as always, Bear. Anything you want to shill?
Yes, in 15 minutes, I will be premiering a brand new video on the main channel on Irate Bear about comedy and how SJW has destroyed it in Great Britain. There it is. It's linked in the chat. Go check it out, guys.
Absolutely. Do it. Don't give me your excuses. Go do it. And thank you, Maddie. Always a pleasure to have you. Anything you want to shout out?
Yeah, I'm going to put it in the chat. If you type that in, you will go to my geeky channel where Wednesday I did reactions to 2 different trailers. One of them was the new Child's Play movie, and the other one was the Dark Phoenix movie. So, because every Wednesday I react to 2 different movie trailers. So that was fun. So go check those out.
All righty. There you have it, folks. Thank you for coming. Be sure to check us out on the next episode, which will be this Saturday at 2:30 EST. And as always, get out of my yard.
Bye, everyone.